Merhaba arkadaşlar, ben Emre. Tangle Tower'a kaldığımız yerden devam ediyoruz. En son 2 ile neydi lan? Felix değil mi adamın ismi? Felix ile görüştüydük. Ve ile görüştük sonra. Kadın, unuttum ismini. Dur şuradan göz hatırlarım. Ha, Floria ile yeni şeyler öğrendik. Felix'teki kırmızı boyanın aslında Freya'ya ait olduğunu, Floria'nın çizimindeki şeyin bıçak değil tüy olduğunu, ama bu niyeyse hala konuşmuyor. İnşallah bir gün konuşur. Şimdi yeni karakterimizle tanışalım bakalım.
Wow, nice cape.
You're not fellows or pointers. I'm sure I shall immediately regret asking. But who are you, and what is your business here?
I'm Sally, and this is my sidekick Grimoire.
A private detective, Grimoire.
Really? You're a detective. If this is a joke, it's not a good one.
Who are you anyway?
Yazık ya.
Private Detective Hawkshaw.
Oh, nice. Hawkshaw's a cooler name than Grimoire. Maybe I'll become her sidekick.
You're not on the Freya Fellow case, too, are you?
That is classified information between myself and my client. Clearly, this is something which eludes you. But a real detective refrains from handing out informations to persons unknown.
Oh, right.
Now, if you would, I have work to do.
Kendinden
It's not
bahset.
in my interest to discuss personal details.
Even if you're one of the suspects in a murder?
Very well. Let us make a small exception.
Evet.
Ask.
Oh, what are you doing here?
I'm on a case at the behest of my client.
How long have you been at Tangle Tower?
133 hours. 5.5 days.
Who are you working for?
I am not at liberty to answer that. Now, I shall permit you one more question.
What crime are
How'd you get that scar? It's cool.
Ya cidden.
You really think so?
Allah'ım yarabbim.
As it happens, I completed an examination of Flora's room on the morning before the murder. I've been investigating every single room at Tangle Tower. Hers was one of the last on my list.
Did you find anything unusual?
Nothing but a thin layer of dust and an atmosphere of somber melancholy.
Was Flora in there at the time?
She spent the duration of my search staring up at the sky, out the open window. Didn't say a word, although I'm told this is the expected behavior.
What did you do after that?
I spent the early evening searching the library. It took longer than it should have. Fiona leaves that room in a permanent state of disarray.
Fiona was in the library too?
I expected her to make an appearance, but she did not.
And you stayed in the library the rest of the day?
Not quite.
İfade.
Towards the early evening, my examination of the library was unexpectedly disrupted. Sounds of running, wailing, shouting from several floors above. I vacated the library, but before I could begin my ascent, Professor Pointer appeared. He emerged from the Pointer staircase, crossed the hall, and begun up the fellow staircase. Our eyes met. He was breathless. Something had caused him great alarm. He told me to stay out of the way. I consented. I decided to return to my office in the stone square. As I was passing through the front door, Penelope called out from behind me. She was clutching the banister of the Pointer staircase with an apprehensive manner. She wished to know where Professor Pointer had gone. I told her what had transpired. Then, she too crossed the hall and disappeared up the fellow staircase. More so than at any moment prior, I felt like quite an intruder in the house. I took my leave, out towards the stone square. The grounds were silent. There were no signs of human life. Even the greenhouse was without its typical inhabitant. I noted that he, too, must be entangled in whatever was transpiring in Fellow Tower. An unremarkable hour passed before the gardener finally made his appearance. He spoke to me of what had occurred. His report was as clumsy and cumbersome as the man giving it.
Did he seem upset?
He was rattled, that much was clear, but sorrowful, mournful, I cannot say.
Freya hakkında
Freya
söyle.
Fellow, is of great interest to me. I perceived her to be the most intelligent individual here at Tangle Tower. Within a day,
Fifi
she had
varken nasıl?
identified for whom I was working and for what I was searching. I didn't know how she did it. I was impressed. I regret that I did not question her more thoroughly when I had the opportunity.
You couldn't have known she was about to be killed, though.
I have only myself to blame for failing to perceive the signs.
What
Ne işareti?
signs?
I do not wish to do your job for you, detective.
Florya.
Quite the stoic statue, isn't she? I can only dream of being as cold and indifferent as Flora Fellow.
You think she's hiding something?
Perhaps. She has some strange habits. I heard she barely sleeps, an hour here or there, sporadically. Spends the rest of her time staring up at the sky.
Felix.
Did you get
peki?
anything useful out of him?
Not sure. What about you?
Nothing worth committing to paper.
I think he knows more than he lets on.
Probably. But talking with him is so tedious.
Kendi hakkında en son Fifi'yi soracağım.
314 cases solved.
300?
And
Yes.
14.
314 dava çözdü diye şok oldu. Bizimki pek başarılı bir şey diye herhalde.
Considerably intelligent, and her powers of observation are enviable. But she has no ambition, no focus.
In her defense, she's still a teenager.
Barely.
Bugün neyse.
Diary. Have you read it?
Not yet. It's locked.
And you haven't attempted to force it open?
That would be cheating.
Florya'nın çizimleri.
Does Flora still own that bird? Do you know?
Don't think so. The drawings are from a few years ago.
I see. A
Üş.
book from the library. One of hundreds, no doubt. What makes this one special?
It's about birds.
Yes, I see that.
Çizim.
When did Freya draw the picture of you, Hawkshaw?
I didn't model for her, if that's what you're asking. She must have done
Ha,
it without my
sağdaki çizim
permission.
oymuş.
Could just be from memory. It's not quite as detailed as the others anyway.
A
Gitti.
photograph of Freya. Could be important. I
Tablo.
admit, it's powerful. Freya was a talented young woman.
Someone even liked it enough to take a photo of it.
Now, we don't know why they took the photograph, do we? Perhaps they just wanted it for reference. These
Okay.
figurines remind me of a case I once solved involving a possessed doll. Turned out to be a bit of a smokescreen, as these things often do.
Your life sounds fun. Grimoire, why don't we ever have fun adventures like that?
Are we not having a fun adventure right at this very moment?
I
Grimoire'ın
tell him
çok
not to
üstüne
quit his
gidiyorsun.
day job, but he hasn't got one, has he?
Boş yumurta.
You got it open. I'm impressed. I managed it myself yesterday. I thought Flora might be hiding something in there.
It was empty yesterday, too.
It was. Perhaps it's always been empty. I
Your
believe
cassette?
that was in Flora's room yesterday, but it was not cracked when I saw it last. A
Bunun
somewhat
kırık mı?
cumbersome device, and an altogether inefficient way to listen to music.
What kind of music do you like, Hawkshaw?
I like anything.
What a cop-out.
Paints?
Yep.
Paints.
Mm-hmm.
Fırça.
Paint is still wet.
Yeah, well, we know Freya was in the middle of painting when she was killed.
Do you know that? How? Because you were told? Makes quite an impression, doesn't it? Although I can't imagine why she painted Flora wielding a knife.
You didn't see a knife anywhere in Flora's room, did you?
I did not. I conclude whatever stabbed Freya must have been brought into the room from outside. Unless, of course, it was the painting itself.
Surely you don't believe in that kind of thing.
A detective's job is to examine every avenue of thinking.
Tablo nasıl öldürsün ya? Mektup.
Conveniently left anonymous. It's useless until you can prove to whom it concerns. Can you do that?
No.
No.
Hasar
Where'd you
görmüş.
dig that up?
It wasn't buried. It was underwater.
Someone trying to conceal evidence, perhaps?
Dava
You
dosyası.
truly consider this a case file?
What's wrong with it?
No organization, no system.
That's my style. I like seeing everything laid out at once. Yeah, it helps me think.
How quaint. Tangle
Tower.
Tower. No idea why they insist on calling it that. It's not even a tower. It's little more than a pair of turrets stuck on either side of a mansion.
Have you searched the whole place?
I believe so. Why?
He wants to know if you found any secret rooms.
Hmm.
I'm afraid the residents of Tangle Tower are far too ordinary for anything like that. I
Kesin
was
var.
disappointed too.
Tamam, bunları da öğrenmiş oldum. Şu etrafa bir bakın.
Is that a clock?
If it is, it's a clock with 4 faces.
Neymiş?
I'm guessing it doesn't tell the time.
So what does it do?
4 akrep ve yelkovanın tümün doğru konuma gelene kadar kadranları dördür. Doğru konum dediğin ne?
No.
Şöyle bir bakayım öylesine.
So moving any of the hands turns the adjacent hands in the opposite direction.
Evet, onu
It's
anladım.
like cogs on a machine.
Neresi doğru bilmiyorum ki. Şimdi hepsi sağa bakacaksa ben dik yapmaya çalışsam. Olmayacak yani. Hepsini aşağı getirdim, olur mu?
I guess that's wrong.
Did you work out what direction each hand needs to be facing? Each one ends with a little hoop. Try looking through the hoop and ignoring the rest.
Her birinin sonunda küçük bir halka var. Halkanın içinden bakıp diğer şeyleri görmezden gelmeyi dene. Nasıl yani? Tamam da neyden bahsediyorsun? Dur, hepsini dik yap.
Nothing.
It's just numbers on a clock. 3 on the right, 6 on the bottom, 9 on the left, and 12 on the top.
Evet.
You only need 90-degree angles. That should make it easier to work out.
Öyle düşünürsek şöyle birini, tamam, hepsi farklı bir
Nothing.
yere bakıyor.
It's just numbers on a clock.
7 olmadı.
3 on the right, 6 on the bottom, 9 on the left, and 12 on the top.
3 sağda, 6 altta, 3 hangisi anasını satayım? Hangisi şey? 9 solda ve 12 üstte. Şunu 12 olarak kabul etsek. 6 desek. Şu kaç, şu kaç şimdilik yani.
You only need 90-degree angles. That should make it easier to work out.
Böyle yaptım.
Nothing.
It's
Olmadı.
just numbers on a clock. 3 on the right, 6 on the bottom. You only need 90-degree angles.
Yanlışlıkla dondurmuşum. Biz bunu bir resetleyelim.
Reset
Benim kafa
puzzle.
karıştı çünkü. Bu 3. Değil mi? Şöyle düşünsek 3. Bu 12. Bu 9. Bu da 6. Şimdi 3 9 oldu değil mi? Dur, bu hareket etmemesi lazım. Böyle oldu mu şimdi? Bu taraf 3, bu taraf 9, bu taraf 12.
No, that was it.
Tamam.
Nice work.
Aslında zor değilmiş. Doğru şey yapmamız lazımmış. Ve ben biraz karıştırdığım için etrafı düzeltemedim.
What's in the box?
Ne var burada?
A little tool thing? Looks like a telescope. But I'm not actually sure what it is.
Neymiş bakalım. Dürbün, Kaviste cam bir lense sahip küçük pinç alet. Tabanında bir vida var. Bankta ne var?
There's a metal plaque on the bench.
Is there a message
Neymiş?
engraved on it?
I think there was at one point. But someone scratched it off. A wooden trunk that opens up into a full desk.
I want one.
Alırsın.
You ever see a mushroom that big before?
Not in real life.
Dünya gözüyle görmedim. Bura.
A pointless little stone tower.
I don't know. Might be a good hiding place.
Want to play hide and seek?
I could be persuaded.
Biraz daha uğraşırsan beni ikna edebilirsin diyor. Oynarız diyor yani. Köprü şu
A
da.
little bridge leading back to the gardens.
Tamam.
Looks like it might be about to fall apart. Grimoire, you go first.
Önden git. Dur.
A giant glowing gemstone full of plants.
AKA a greenhouse.
Sera ya. Allah Allah.
More of that weird lake water.
Really makes me wonder how this structure is supported.
Evet.
Yeah, are we on an island or what?
Beats me.
Bunlar ne?
It's a big stone dais.
Biggest one I've ever seen. First one,
Yeah.
too.
Köprünün kötüsü.
It's a sea serpent. Turned
Yeah.
into stone by a wizard.
If you say so. What happened to its head?
Beheaded. By the same wizard.
Bayağı iyi bir
It's
hayal
Tangle
gücü
Tower.
var.
Or at least it's the mansion at the base of Tangle Tower.
Başka bir şey.
It's Tangle Tower. Or at
Aynı şeyi
least it's
söylüyor.
the...
Burada mı
How
şey?
long is that thing?
Bulduğumuz lensi bir sorayım sana. Bu ne?
This belongs to you, Hawkshaw?
Correct.
İyi.
And, what is it?
It's my handheld microscope for up-close investigation work.
What do you magnify with
Mikroskopmuş.
it?
Trace particles, dust, oils, clothing fibers.
Have you used it here at Tangle Tower?
I have. I used it to examine the greenhouse only 2 days ago.
What were you looking for?
That is between myself and my client.
Müşterin kim ya? Çok merak ettim. Bu yeni bulduğumuz şeyi,
Hi.
yeni bulduğumuz şeyleri bir soralım bakalım. Gel. Gel bakalım, seninle konuşmayı çok seviyorum. Şimdi ilk Hawkshaw'a bir sor.
Hawkshaw. Age unknown. Profession Private detective.
Evet.
Likes, quote, being left alone. Dislikes,
Bırakılmak.
quote, being constantly badgered by a weirdo nerd with a clipboard.
Yes, yes. Florya
Freya
çizimleri.
drew these,
Yeah, I think so. There's a note on the back.
but she never showed them to me.
Well, I think it was a gift for your mother, like a private thing between Freya and Flora.
Küçük
This
de.
belongs to Professor Pointer, does it not?
No, I don't think so.
Well, who else would own such a pointless little telescope?
It's a telescope.
Oh, yes. It has a telescopic lens. It can only be used for looking at things that are far away.
Bizde mikroskop dedi, bu teleskop oldu. Bir kapalı değil sorular. Başka bir şey yok değil mi? Hızlıca geçtik. Tamam. Bizim uyuyan güzele bir gidelim. Şunu,
Quite the character, eh? A fellow member of the Order of the Crimson Cloak.
Kızıl
Is that
Prens
a real
hareketi mi?
thing?
No, I just meant because we both wear, you know, red capes of a sort.
Has she questioned you yet?
Şu adamı
If you
üzmeyin
call
ya.
that questioning, she seemed bored by everything I had to say. I heard on the grapevine. Supposedly Hawkshaw is searching for some rare item. Something called the Golden Beetle. Honestly,
Altın böcek mi?
it's probably a bunch of sensationalist rubbish.
You reckon?
Quite sure. There is no treasure called the Golden Beetle.
How do you know?
Because I would have heard of it.
İlginç bir teori. Bunu geç.
These drawings are quite precious. I'm surprised Flora let you see them.
What happened to the bird? Did it die?
I don't know. Seems likely though, doesn't it? Why
Küçük de.
don't you ask Fiona about that one? Looks like her area of expertise.
Tamam. Sormanın bir mantığı yok ama gene de gidip hani konuşmayacağını %100 eminiz ama gene de
We
böyle.
spoke to Hawkshaw. I assume she didn't get anything out of you either. I bet that really ticked her off.
We
Felix'e
met
gel.
Felix, your husband. He's one of our suspects, and he seems pretty suspicious if you ask me. So, if you want to stick up for him, now's your chance.
Nice try. We
Fifi.
spoke to your daughter Fifi. She's some kind of super intelligent scientist. You must be proud of her.
Yine hiçbir şey söylemedi. Bunlar.
What do you think of your husband's hobby?
Do you have any hobbies? You
Bunu.
haven't seen this yet, have you?
It's a little model of you. Who were the other people next to you?
Konuşmuyor bu. Hayır
This is
bu.
a photo of Fifi, isn't it? Your daughter?
Bu. Yok
Have
bu.
you seen this book before? Do you know who it belongs to?
Gene konuşmuyor.
I really thought she was gonna say something there.
Bugünlük. Hayır.
I like these
Ooh.
drawings, Flora.
Is there a reason why you wanted us to see them?
Hiç konuşmayacak ama denedim şansımı. Evet. Bir sonraki gezeceğimiz yeri keşfedelim. Şurası olsun. Ama bir sonraki bölümde keşfedeceğiz. Yeni bir karakter. Yok ama keşfet. Varmış şurada. Gizlenmiş. Neyse. Bir sonraki bölüm devam edeceğiz arkadaşlar. Beğenmeyi, yorum atmayı ve abone olmayı unutmayın. Bir sonraki videolarda ve serilerde görüşmek üzere. Bay bay.